There are really only two types of knitted garments, those with seams and those without them. Some knitters genuinely prefer the look and fit of seamless garments, but I personally prefer pieced garments because those seams provide structure that help keep the garments from growing and stretching as you wear them. If you are wanting to do seams but are feeling intimidated or have done seams before and found it frustrating, I made this episode for you. Before we cover the actual seaming part, let's talk about the simple changes you can make when knitting the pieces that will help the rest of the process go a lot smoother by starting you out with better edges. Now, don't give up or stress out if you have already made the pieces of your garment and you don't want to redo them. Hit that subscribe button instead, because my next video will show you how to use the mattress stitch to make your garment look great regardless of how your edges are already looking. But if you aren't done knitting the pieces yet, let me show you the things I started doing over the past 2 years that make the edges of those pieces so much easier to work with. I'm currently knitting this bolero called Time by Louisa Harding with a silk wool and cotton blend called Trinity. I'm using this pattern as an example for you here because it involves armhole shaping, shoulder shaping, shaping for these lovely curves up the front and for the sleeve heads. Take a look at the shoulder shaping on the back panel for this garment. This was knit exactly as written in the pattern, and you can already see the biggest issue immediately. These jagged, disrupted, bound off edges. I've had so many students over the years come to me with pieces that look exactly like this, and they all ask the same question: Shauna, what have I done wrong? And the answer is absolutely nothing. The way piece patterns are traditionally written leave you with stair steps. Really good seams do a great job of hiding those annoying little corners, but it's also undeniable that they make the seaming process more fiddly and frustrating than it really needs to be. Some designers now make use of short rows for shaping instead, but for all of those patterns out there that don't, you can make those complications go away yourself by using one super simple bind-off technique and some strategically placed decreases. Now, if experimenting with this stuff makes you a little nervous, check out my video on lifelines. That's what these little things are. Think of lifelines as reset buttons. With these in place, you don't have to worry about messing up and losing all of your other hard work. I learned the bind off I'm going to show you today from this book. I consider this an absolute basic necessity for the knitter's library. One of the many things I love about it, in addition to the lathe flat spiral binding, is the cast on index on the front inside cover, the bind off index in that back inside cover, and the bind off we're going to be using today is this one on page 168. Over the past year or so, this bind off has become my go-to bind off for almost every single project, in addition to all the applications I mention here. I found it very adaptable and very helpful. Here's the simplicity of the lace bind off and part of why I love it. You take these first two stitches in line. You reach around for the back loops or the back legs. Stick your needle through both. Wrap the yarn around and bring it through to the front. And take it off. Now, for those of you who don't know already, knitting two together through the back legs, it leans to the left. This is my favorite substitute for an SSK, just a nice little cheat. Now, the next step in the lace bind off is park that stitch you just knit two together through the back legs, put it back over here on the left hand side. Lather, rinse, repeat. Through the back loops or the back legs, and work the stitch. Off it comes. Park it back. That's 2 stitches decreased. And look at this nice smooth line that we're getting here already. There's no stair step. Lace bind off. One more time. We've put this stitch back over here on the left. Back loops or back legs. For you American styles, for you throwers, grab the yarn, wrap it around, carry it through to the front, off it comes, put it back. That's all there is to the lace bind off. Now you'll notice the top of this bind off, when you do it that way, rolls this direction. You can instead, for a different look, and this is what I've been using, knit those two together, form that stitch, off it comes, put it back. Knit two together, take it off, put it back. Knit two together, take it off, put it back. I'm going to do a few more for you so that you can see. Yep, I didn't get through both of those. Knit, off it comes, put it back. Whereas knit two together through the back legs gives you an edge that rolls here to the front of the fabric or cants to the front. When you do knit two together, the top edge rolls away. See? Oriented to the front, rolling in towards the back. You can decide when you're using this which direction do you want those stitches to lay over. Me, for the purposes of doing the shaping in this garment that we're doing, I personally prefer having it roll to the back, but neither is more correct than the other. Personal preference, your call. I'm going to do the knit two together through the front legs because I want this edge to lean to the back. Just my preference. There's our first two together. Put it back over here. Do it again. Put it back. There's two. Put it back and there's three. Two together, put it back and there's four. Knit two together, put it back and there's five. Knit two together, and that's six. Now when the pattern says knit until there are X number of stitches on the right hand needle, we're going to leave this one over here and that counts as number 1. So here's my 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Look at this. No stair step. Nice smooth continuous line. It is actually curved. You see it's trying to swoop up that way, but no jagged edge, no corner. The great thing about working with circular needles, by the way, if you haven't ever before, that the pattern here says turn and leave the remaining stitches on a holder for the left shoulder and for the back neck. We don't really have to do that with these circular needles. We're just going to continue working this little section back and forth, back and forth. So the next row of instructions says cast off 3 stitches, purl to the end. You can use purl 2 togethers to help avoid jagged edges over here. Now you either do that normally, there's purl 2 together, take it off, put this back, purl 2 together, take it off, put it back, purl 2 together, put it back. Now normally you would leave this over here, but I'm going to put this back so you can see what the front of this fabric looks like. Sorry for bumping the camera there. There we are. Instead of having a jagged edge here, we have this nice smooth slope. Now you'll notice this edge, it's rolling this way to the front of the fabric. Purl two togethers can happen from the back. I'm going to tink these out and show you how to work those through the back legs. I took out those stitches that I bound off on the purl side, and I'm going to show you how to do them from the other direction. Now let's step our skill up even more. We're going to take out the last two stitches. We're going to tink these out, and here's our last two of the 8 that I was supposed to be binding off. In order to really have a nice, smooth, strong line that goes this way, we're going to end this portion with a knit 2 together, because knit 2 togethers lean to the right. So those are knit 2 together. Yes, that technically means we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's fine. Look forward to your next row. This next row begins with cast off 3 stitches and then purl to the end. We've already taken care of one of those here on the right side before we even turn and go back this direction. We're going to consider this our first bound off stitch. Now, to get this to roll to the back, here's how you purl 2 together through the back legs. Turn until you can see those back legs. It's a little awkward. We're going to get under this one and that one next to it. We're going to roll to the front with those. See, here's those back legs. Get the yarn around the needle, carry it through, and off it comes. Put that back. You can also just pull down on your fabric, take the tip of this needle, scoop that first, hopefully you guys can see this, scoop that first back leg and the second back leg, and then turn. Here's the back legs of the stitch. Carry that yarn, wrap through to the front, and off it comes. The instructions now are to purl to the end of the row, purl, purl. Now the next set of instructions has you binding off the remaining stitches. Here's our last 2 stitches of the row. Let's knock out the first bind off right from the get-go by working those together from this side. That is the first of the 5 I have left that I am to be binding off. Nice and smooth on this side. Still nice and smooth and continuous on this side. Let's bind off the last of these. Remember, I'm choosing to have my edge roll to the back. So knitting 2 together, put it back, knit 2 together, put it back, knit 2 together, and we're done. There is the right shoulder shaped. Nice and smooth. And at this edge, nice and smooth. What a difference, right? This versus this. It's going to be so much nicer to work with when it comes time to do the shoulder seams. Here is the left front piece, and I again knit it the way the pattern calls for. Bind off, work across, bind off again, work across, and then bind off these last ones after you come back. And there's our stair step again. I have seamed garments where this was the edge I was working with. Can you make a nice looking seam that, hides all of this completely? Absolutely. Is it a lot more pleasant to do the seam without the shaping? Absolutely. So let me show you on the right front piece how to apply that lace bind off and those strategically placed decreases to get a nice smooth line instead. Here's where I'm at in the pattern. An initial bind off at the beginning of this row and the next wrong side row, and you end up taking it off in 3 sections. So let's start this. Purl 2 together, there's one gone, put that back. Purl these 2 together, put that back. Purl these 2 together, put it back. There's 3. Let me switch to American style for you throwers. Bind off. There's 4. Put it back. Work 2 together. There's 5. Put it back. There's number 6. And instead of putting that back, we're going to leave that on this side, and I'm going to work the rest of the row. I purled to this edge, and now I've knit most of the way back. And the next segment of our bind off stitches, we're going to start on this side. Now, do you have to do this part? Do you need to do the first decrease of stitches, the first binding off of stitches using a decrease here on the right side? No, you don't have to. You could do just the lace bind off for all of this. I'm not entirely sure why. I need to spend some time investigating, but I've just always found that if I end this row with some sort of decrease, it just gives me that much smoother and more continuous line on the other side. So we're going to end our right side row here with that knit 2 together so that it leans that direction. And there is the first of our stitches we're supposed to bind off in this next segment already done. So we're going to count that as 1, and doing these 2 together, there's 2, there's 3, put it back, and here's 6. I'm going to purl back, knit this way, and show you that last segment. I did the rest of my wrong side row and most of my right side row. Here's our last 2 stitches on the right side. Knit 2 together to start that bind off. Flip around to this side. Get our yarn on the right side. And since this is already over here, here's the last of our bound off stitches. And of course, you just do this to the end until there's only 1 stitch left. And this is why I bother. And I'm hoping at this point you're beginning to feel like you want to bother doing this as well. It's really not doing anything complicated. You already have to bind off stitches. And using decreases that hopefully you have already encountered up until now, knit 2 togethers and purl 2 togethers. Here is our jagged stair step. And while this line is not flawless, it's not a completely straight line, it's so much smoother and straighter than this. Now I get the fun of taking back to my lifeline right here and making this edge look like this edge. This is the head of one of the sleeves, knit according to the pattern. And again, corners, 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 and more corners. In my humble opinion, sleeves are one of the pieces that benefit the absolute most from eliminating this, because this edge is having to be fit into the rest of the garment. Applying that lace bind off I showed you, along with those strategically placed decreases, here's what we have instead. This matches the shape of what you're setting it into or sewing it into much, much better than that. I really mean it when I say don't stress out if you're about to seam something and your edges look a little too much like Lego blocks. Check out my video on the seaming technique called the mattress stitch. It tucks those irregularities away and it will leave you with a beautiful, comfortable garment that you can be proud of. Thanks for watching, and please let me know what topics and troubles you would like to see videos on. I want to help you stress less and enjoy your knitting and your crochet projects more.